11, Kevin Hague.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and asks, when he reportedly told Kevin Rudd that New Zealand would take a strong line opposing Japanese whaling this year in New Zealand's search and rescue zone, can he explain what he meant by a strong line?
The Honourable Mr
Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, a strong line means continuing to make firm public statements about New Zealand's position against whaling and continuing diplomatic efforts to stop whaling. The meeting with Mr Rudd also provided an opportunity to hear Australia's views before New Zealand makes a decision about whether to join the proceedings against Japan in the International Court of Justice. Now that we've had those discussions, a decision on joinder or intervention will be made very soon.
Kevin
Supplementary. Thank you, Mr Speaker. Will he be taking a strong line in response to the investigation by Maritime New Zealand that found that the Japanese whaling boat had primary responsibility for the collision with the 80 Gill?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
On behalf of the Minister will emphasise what he and indeed Maritime New Zealand said, that this kind of activity in the Antarctic Ocean is very, very dangerous, and he will be strongly warning both sides to avoid that kind of action. The Maritime New Zealand report attributed blame to both sides.
Kevin Hague.
Can he confirm that his last answer essentially tells this House that he will be taking no real action against the Japanese in the light of Maritime New Zealand's findings?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
No, I can't say that at all. I made it clear on behalf of the Minister what his position would be, and I also outlined to the member that the Maritime New Zealand report attributed blame to both sides.
Kevin Hague.
A supplementary, sir. Why doesn't his strong line include sending an offshore patrol vessel into the Southern Ocean this summer to monitor the Japanese whale slaughter?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
On behalf of the Minister, no decision has been made whether to send a vessel at this stage. The Southern Ocean is a very remote and inhospitable part of the environment, but the government certainly will be calling on the masters of all vessels to make safety at sea a very high priority.
Kevin Hague.
Supplementary, sir. Given that he said on Q&A this weekend that he'd spoken to the Japanese government and told them that New Zealanders would be watching what they do this year, how might they do this if he does not send a Navy vessel to the Southern Ocean for this purpose?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
On behalf of the Minister, I repeat what I said in my answer to the previous question, that no decision has been made and a number of factors will be taken into account in determining whether a vessel will be sent.
Kevin Hague.
Why hasn't his strong line so far included joining Australia's case at the International Court of Justice?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
On behalf of the Minister, as I said in my answer to the primary question, that issue is being very carefully considered now, and the Minister is having discussions with the Attorney-General on the subject, and when a decision about joinder or intervention, there are a number of procedural paths, will be made very soon.
Order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order, Kevin Hague.
My question asked why the government had not done so to date.
I'll let the member, because he's running out of supplementaries, I'll let him repeat his question just to make sure the House has heard exactly what he asked. Kevin Hague.
It will be approximate, sir, but why hasn't his strong line included joining Australia's case at the International Court of Justice before now?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
On behalf of the Minister, as I said, no decision has been made at this stage because the government is still making a decision, one, about whether to join or seek leave to intervene. As I said, there are two procedural paths, weighing up all the matters and discussing the matter with the Australian government has taken until this time.
Kevin Hague.
Supplementary, sir. When he suggested that Japan could lower the target size of their whale catch, what number of whales was he thinking was an acceptable number to kill this season?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
On behalf of the Minister, no number is acceptable. The government has always made its position clear. The Minister was proffering that as a possible solution to a problem.
Question number 12, Dr. Roshan Prasad.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to